Well, we talked a lot about, wills and how they involve families, and we've got Christmas coming up. It's going to be extra hard this year with the
Yeah.
social bubbles we have to observe. And so, in terms of emotions, how do family relationships affect or cause our emotions? I realise it's a massive topic. Do you have, maybe to bring it down to earth, do you have any tips for surviving a family Christmas this year and all the strong emotions that could bring out, especially with the social bubble?
Well, I think Christmas is often that cause for debate, isn't it? Of
Yeah,
whose home should you be going to? Whose turn is it? And who gets the grandchildren for Christmas Day this year, or who gets the children for Christmas this year? And I think this year's been really disruptive. I think there's been probably lots of conversations that have had to have gone on around similar. There'll be some people this year who will be experiencing their first Christmas without a loved one because they've passed away this year. I think sadly more people than perhaps would have been expected. But I think there will also be some families who are separated for the first time. So whether you're talking a relationship separation and negotiating who has children on which day, but also because of the social bubbles, there will be people who are separated who would normally spend that time together. We've been having our conversations this week about how we're going to manage it, and there will be family members who we would normally spend Christmas with who we won't see this year. Well, certainly not over the days that we would normally see them. So it's working out. I had this conversation with somebody yesterday. What can you do under the different tier options? So I think that's part of the challenge at the moment, isn't it, of not knowing what tier you might be in, which might add further restrictions or less restrictions, but also looking at the rules and the bubble rules and what you can do and when. And so I think to help that at the moment, I think looking at what your different options are for different tiers, start to have those conversations early on, start to think about what you do want to happen and how you can manage that. And I think Christmas is the 25th, but it doesn't need to be the 25th. Christmas is about the connection. It's about spending time, quality time, and that could be done on any day. And I think that is going to be difficult for some people to get their heads around. But it's what's meaningful about Christmas for you, what's important about Christmas for you, and how can you meet that in a different way this year. And I think that's part of the challenge. I worked shift work for years, so when my son was young, we did Christmas Day on whatever day I wasn't working that was near the 25th. He didn't know any different. As long as he woke up and we celebrated Christmas, it didn't matter for him. So I think there'll be some children who are not old enough to know what day of the week it is. And I think what's important is to look at what's important about Christmas for you. What is it that you really want to make happen, and then how can you make that happen over the course of the 2 weeks, with the bubbles and isolation and keeping people safe? Because ultimately, as important as Christmas is, we want to keep our loved ones safe and healthy, and it's being able to balance both of that. But I think have those conversations early on and look at the different options for the different tiers, so that you can start to work out who's potentially doing what and when to be able to make that happen. But I think we have traditions at Christmas, but ultimately it's what do those traditions bring? What does Christmas mean to you? What's important? Because for most people it is about seeing people and that quality time. And so that can be done on any day. So it's just working out how best to manage that, I think. But it will be difficult, and I think there will be a lot of people that feel isolated, not in terms of isolation, but will feel isolated from family and friends in a way that they haven't experienced before, and that's going to be challenging. But I hopefully there will be lots of options for people online. I know Sarah Millican, the comedian, she does a is it join in join in that she does on Twitter. So for people who are on their own for Christmas, or who don't celebrate Christmas for whatever reason, can join in with a fun supportive community online on Christmas Day, New Year's Day, if they want that support. So hopefully there will be lots online that will offer extra support for people.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
I mean, we're looking for a silver lining in all of this. I mean, because you've got to make quite harsh decisions about who you're going to see and things like that. You know, for some people, it may take the pressure off them a little bit. You know, the sort of people who feel very pressured to you know, for example, cook a large meal and everything's got to go perfectly, and they don't leave anyone out, and they've got to have everyone there together. And because of the rules being so, you know, so I'm going to say clear. I don't think the rules are clear, but you know what I mean. They're because they're so definite. You know, you can only see these 3 people, etc. You know, maybe Christmas will be smaller for some people, and for a small proportion of people, maybe that would be a good thing, because they don't have to. It'll take a bit of the weight off their shoulders, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think there will be benefits for some people, and I think others will find it quite difficult. But I think that mirrors the entire year, really, doesn't it? There's been lots of positives for people, and there's also been lots of changes that haven't been comfortable or haven't felt in our control. And I think it's the same. Again. I think it's taking that step back and recognizing and acknowledging that this is not forever. This is, you know, something that we need to do until this is under control, and that's not forever. So it's one Christmas, one period of time, and then we have to make the best of the situation that we're in, that, you know, we can celebrate. You know, other families in different religions have had to work around their festivals and their celebrations over the last couple of months. So, you know, it's doing the best you can with what we can, and know that this isn't permanent, and there will be next year, where we can do things differently. So.